Thank you all for joining the webinar. So in this webinar, we will be talking about how modern employee onboarding technology can help. So I have a presentation. I have also a demo for you to see. So you'll actually see how the solution works. I'll share my screen and get started. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Oh, like this. Okay, so yeah, we don't call Preppio employee onboarding software anymore. We think it's more of an employee journey platform because it does more than just the pre and onboarding process. We believe that other people processes like offboarding and if you're doing getting a promotion or you're becoming a manager for the first time, that's other critical transitions that you need to have a process that people actually follow. So I will just talk a bit about why it's important for companies to invest in onboarding. And the people who are here, we kind of know the importance of onboarding, but I think it's crucial for us to also get that message across to the rest of the organization, because it costs a lot of money to be hiring people and then failing at giving them a great experience when they're joining. And it's a really good business case to invest in improving the onboarding experience with very few and small changes and adjustments to your onboarding process. You can create a much more delightful experience that gets people up to productivity much faster, reduces turnover. 1 out of 4 people quit their job within the first year. Employer branding, if you want to become an attractive place to work, retain the top talent, creating or designing a journey into the organization and out of the organization is critical, because these are the moments that people remember. And according to a Gallup survey, only 12% of the people who were surveyed said that they were really happy about their onboarding experience. So there are 4 main reasons of investing in a better onboarding experience. It's turnover, it's efficiency. So for example, getting people up to productivity much faster, saving time with automation. It takes hours to onboard an employee from the hiring manager's perspective and their colleagues, and of course to attract the top talent. So first, a great onboarding technology should support a really engaging pre-boarding experience. So this helps the new hire get up to speed much faster, ramp people up faster when they join the organization. So it's kind of a false start. You're giving people communications and starting the journey already from the offer is signed, instead of waiting until start date, because this actually creates a lot of unnecessary waste of time, and people, when they're up to productivity faster, they're actually more engaged in their work than if you're slow at getting them up to productivity. So I think that's a really important aspect of using modern technology. And of course, we have worked with Talia Bauer. Most of you that are in this webinar know the 6C framework and what we have focused on. But basically, it's all about moving beyond just a compliance-driven onboarding process and into a more experience-driven onboarding process that focuses on the holistic approach. So clarification is really critical in order to get people to get an understanding of what they're supposed to do, and remove a lot of the nervousness that people have. Giving people confidence early on is critical in order to get them to stay. And of course, building connections early on is really important. I remember one of the first job I ever got. I had a manager who used to sit on a lunch table that was not the one that I was sitting on. And it was kind of this strange experience, and I never got to know that manager that well. But then I had a colleague that had lunch with their manager all the time, and I remember feeling quite jealous, and it was hard for me to build that connection with my manager. So these small things matter. And there's been actually a study on managers who have lunch with their new hire on day one. It actually is shown that the employees are in the company, or the likelihood of them being in the company 2 years later is much greater. So of course, I'm not saying managers have lunch first day equals employees staying in the company, but it's that mindset that you want to instill in the managers that are busy and stressed out and forget about these things. And of course, the culture, getting people into the culture check back. So there has been a lot of studies on companies who have a mature onboarding process that has gone beyond the basic compliance aspect, which the HR tool that you're using today covers. So today, for this webinar, I will be focusing on the problem statement. It's the limitations of current HR tools, your HR platform. I asked the people in this webinar what tools they're using. A lot of you are using Workday, SuccessFactors, PeopleSoft, Oracle, and others. And I'll kind of show why a more engaging process with journeys could be something to invest in. So the current tools, they don't support the human aspect of a difficult transition. So you're joining the organization or you're being offboarded, you're leaving the organization. And if too much is left to chance and the hiring manager, it can lead to disgruntled employees, lack of compliance, basically people not following the process. I know that you've created some HR checklist that's in SharePoint or somewhere, but people are actually not following that checklist. And if you had analytics and could see, then you would know. And this lack of a standardized, unified process across departments hurts the company reputation. So one person gets a great onboarding, another does not. So by making sure everyone gets the same information and goes through the same process, leaving nothing to chance. So that is what I'm about to show you today. How to empower you to deliver a best-in-class onboarding experience. Yeah, so another aspect of it is just having an email-driven process. So people don't open their emails, basically. That's the easy way to tell it to you. The open rates of emails coming from your HR system is much lower than what you think. I have heard and seen some numbers that are in the low, like 20 to 30% open rates. So you get all of these notifications from your Workday or your SuccessFactors or your PeopleSoft, but people don't open them. And then once people go to the portal, it's really hard for them to figure out what to do when. And if you have employees working in industries where they don't use email, they're on, their mobile, their frontline workforces, it's really not a practical way of you to onboard them through emails. So what I'll be showing you later is how to send short and sweet content in SMS, and also AI chatbots that can ensure that everyone gets the message. So if you're in this webinar now, if you leave your phone number in the chat, we will actually be sending out a preview of how the experience looks and feels from an employee point of view during pre-boarding. And you'll see the ease of use in using our journey platform. There's no apps or no logins or extra. It's just communications coming from the company. So one of our customers, they used Workday, and they had very email-driven technical emails coming from the Workday platform, or manually coordinating the pre and onboarding process. This is an airline in Singapore. And what they saw after they switched to Preppio is that they have over 90% completion rate. And that's significantly higher than when they were using traditional channels. Another issue with the current tools, your current HR platform, is to create engaging content. So, for example, a video of the CEO or a video of the hiring manager. How do you send out engaging content that excites people and makes them create a connection already from the day they sign the offer letter? And I know a lot of you actually try to do it, but it's a manual burden, basically. You leave it up to the hiring managers or maybe the HR teams, but then it won't get done. Some people get the information, some don't. And when you don't have a standardized experience that is personal for each employee and their department, so for example, you work in the front line, maybe you want to have another type of onboarding experience than if you're working as an experienced leader joining the organization, or perhaps if you have a graduate programs with young people joining your organization, maybe it's their first real job. So creating engaging journeys for different roles and locations is critical in order to create a great onboarding experience. And of course, you've got the manager and buddy engagement. Managers are 70% of the employee experience, and the technical onboarding emails from your HRIS does not really drive that much action. It doesn't help the managers become onboarding superstars. And the results are people forgetting to get back to get back the equipment when people are leaving the organization. Or just employees getting a bad experience because the manager forgot to follow up with them like they should. And it's really time consuming for employees and managers to use these HR platforms. And I'm not saying that everything that these HR platforms do is really bad, but it's really more of a technical onboarding. It's not a personalized experience. It's not a system that you can automate a lot of things in. So getting insights into onboarding, we think it's crucial. So Talia Bauer, when she was she's been researching onboarding for over 20 years. The best companies, they measured how many people follow the process, what is the feedback from the employees, etc. Are people doing what they should be doing within the deadline? What do people feel about the experience? And it's amazing to see how our customers, through the Preppio platform, can see the insights of how the onboarding is actually going, the tasks, the feedback, the manager engagement, and then adjust the communications and the workflows accordingly. And once you have a platform that standardizes onboarding across the company and you can measure the results, that is when you finally can work more strategically with this HR process, which is critical for the employee productivity and engagement. So I think that's really, really impactful. So just wanted to again show how Scoot Airlines that have embedded Preppio into their internal chat platform and Workday. So they designed workflows. And what's really cool about Preppio is that we have templates. We have over 200 best practices, but it's super easy for you to create custom branded content yourself. So you can use our templates, but it will be the company that communicates to the employee. If you're receiving these SMSs from us now, everything in that experience will be in your brand and according to your brand guidelines. Everything from the name of the SMS to the link that is sent to the colors of these pages. The fact that it's integrated to Microsoft Teams and your HRIS makes the whole experience not feel like another app or another login. It's just streamlined communications coming from HR that helps managers become onboarding superstars and get everyone in the company to get a basic great experience to onboard them or offboard them out of the company. The multi-channel approach we have with emails, SMS, and chat messages is proven to deliver much higher completion rate. So if you're interested in having an onboarding experience that is not just great on paper, but in practice, this is the way to do it. Because a lot of, I have a slide here, actually, I'll go to that slide. I think it's really interesting to see this, this one, the communication preference by generation. So you have the baby boomers and the Gen Xers, where telephone, face-to-face, email, but then you're starting to see instant message. But the percent of the workforce that is Gen Y and Z is over 50%, and they actually don't prefer emails. So if you want to actually engage them and get them activated, you should use instant message or SMSs. And also the content, if you send them long PDFs, they're just not going to go through it. But if you send videos, pictures, and more engaging content, they're much more likely to actually get the message you're trying to convey. So this is why we use videos, pictures in short messaging format with no added friction. So you don't need to log into tools and all of that for onboarding, offboarding. That is what gets people to actually complete the onboarding process. So now I'll be, I'll just end the show for now. And let me see here. So I will be taking questions, and if you have any questions or anything, I'm going to share my screen and just show you how the solution works. So can y'all see my screen now? Great. So I'm just going to show how a journey could look like. So first, a journey. In the middle here, you have the employee that the journey timeline, where you see it's minus 30 days and information, tasks, service, etc., going out to the employee on the left side. So what y'all receive now, the people who sent in their phone number, you got this first welcome message. And if you just scroll down, you see, minus 24 days, you get some tasks, you get, can answer questions that employees might have. So you don't need to spend time on answering the same questions over again. You can add them to your community, survey about you with information that goes back to the manager. So here you could, for example, ask, what's your favorite food? And this could be sent back to the manager with, hey, your new hire has answered a questionnaire, their favorite lunch is, this and this, and then the manager can, go out with the new hire and have that lunch. Of course, it's not everything in our best practices that you would like to have inside your organization, but creating that wow experience on day one, that's what people are actually talking about to their friends and former colleagues. So if you want to create a great employer brand, these are the things that make people write on LinkedIn how amazing their first day was. I see so many people saying, "Oh, I wish more people would tell about how amazing it is working here," because it actually is. But then you have to give them some wow experiences that they can actually easily share. So scrolling down, you see it starts. It goes down to start date. Here you start with more practical things that you can automate. So instead of the manager getting the employee to, download applications, etc., the tool itself will get the new hire to do all of that. So then it can go on for 6 more months if you're interested in that. And on the right side, you've got the buddy, you've got the manager, you've got HR and other stakeholders. And here the platform sends out just-in-time communications to get people to do their tasks and get information. I'll show how that can look in Microsoft Teams, because our platform sends out emails, SMS, and messages in Microsoft Teams. So if y'all can see my screen here, yeah. So let me just send this again. So I have this chatbot message. So this could be a kind of message that goes out to the new hire 1 or 2 days after they have started. I will send this to me. So I got the message, and we are a Microsoft partner, and our solution is embedded in Teams. It's quite easy to set up. So once it's embedded, it's like a colleague, and some of our customers have actually named their onboarding platform a human name, and the chatbot sends out information. So you'll have probably used ChatGPT, where you write to a chatbot and then it answers. Well, this platform messages people at different times, different stakeholders, to engage them during an onboarding process or an offboarding process. So a buddy could, for example, get a message from the platform, this manager has chosen you to be this person's buddy. Here are some things you can do. The fact that it's in Microsoft Teams, where people spend 80% of their time at work, makes it super easy, and that is what gets people to actually follow the process. So I'm a new hire, and I just got this automated message from the chatbot, and here you'll see that I'm engaging with the chatbot through just pushing these buttons. It's super easy. It's impossible to do, not do it correctly. And you can decide the content in this chatbot. So from the manager perspective, I've created a message here where we're trying to get managers to call their new hire or send an SMS. So here I'm sending this message. So this one is for the manager, and this message is sent 10 days before the new hire joins. Amin starts in 10 days. Here's a list of things you can do as a manager to create a great experience. So these are just examples to show how the platform works. And we use the Microsoft AI platform as well. So you probably have an internal team working on that. But in the platform, we have a separate module where you can also chat with the onboarding chatbot. When do I get my salary? These kind of things can all be automated within the same system. So In the pre-boarding, we can even have the chatbot. We're launching that, so you can have the chatbot in the pre-boarding, answering questions that new hires have before day one. I am sick. What do I do? So it just uses the Microsoft AI framework. So this is a separate module, so you can use Preppio with just the SMS and email. And this Teams integration is a separate module, and the AI is another module. So it depending on what your needs are, you can tailor the experience. So if anyone has any questions or want to,
Click the Q&A.
Oh, there are some questions in the Q&A. Let me see here. How digital tools can play a role for each of the 6 C's. Digital tools mean for compliance, what it means for clarification. Yeah, so I think the 6C framework, it's hard to say exactly, but what I feel is that the core HR platforms that companies are using